Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm Lauren with HOJK Learn, and today we're going to be taking a ride talking about what it is that I do. Now, you may have already seen my video about quitting my teaching job, leaving the classroom, and what led me to this journey. Go check it out whenever we get done here, and then that'll give you a little bit more of the background of what it is that led me to starting HOJK Learn, my teaching and intervention consulting company. Now, I was in the classroom and felt very unsupported, very lost at times, or even finding myself trying to shuffle through all of the resources that are out there. And there are a ton of resources out there, but how do you apply those in your classroom? That's exactly what I do. So on my website, you can find all of the services that I provide. Now today we're going to talk about one of them, and that is interventions. Oh my goodness, that dreaded word, interventions. Now, we all know that intervention groups or small groups in our classroom are the easiest way for us to tackle those specific subjects or specific topics that students are struggling with, that they need some reinforcement on, or they need their foundation to be a little bit stronger before we move on to the next activity or the next topic in our curriculum. And that's why it's so important to know where those students are, what group they're going to be in, how you can best service that group, and exactly what the goal is going to be by the end of the time that you're working with them in a specific topic or subject. Let's get started. Now, first things first, make sure that you have a space in your classroom that's going to be dedicated to working with your small groups. There needs to be an area where they can be focused, they come and work with you. The other students know that there's no distractions during that time, because it is so important that those learners working with you get all the attention and all of the reinforcement and support that they need during your time together. Now, with those groups, you're going to want to sort them to the students that have all the same needs. So say that you give a spelling test, and little Johnny, little Susie, and little Victoria did not so good on that test. And you're like, what in the world? We talked about this, we went over this, we practiced this, you worked on it in your groups, you did some centers revolving around that. It was a spelling pattern that you should know. Well, let's go back and revisit it. Now, those three friends are going to be meeting with you in your small group, so you can go over and reinforce that spelling pattern or whatever the topic is that you're wanting to reinforce with them. And you're going to be doing some activities that will help them, support them, and allow them to grow. And they may just have needed that one-on-one time or that smaller concentrated group in order to do that. And that's perfectly fine. But that is the goal of your small intervention groups, is to get those students who you're finding having a hard time in a certain area or a certain topic. You're going to be working with them really, really hard. They get that extra attention, and then they will be able to rise to the occasion and do. Okay, so now you've got your area. Now you know what in the world you're going to be going off of to make your groups, and then you're going to decide how you're going to deliver that instruction in your small groups. Now, I've created a little bit of a blueprint for you to go off of for your beginning readers and your emergent readers. Now, today we're just going to focus on the ELA aspect, because that's going to be an easy example to give. So I have a blueprint for you that lays out a 30-minute, now because I was a reading interventionist, it's 30 minutes, but you can tweak the times and everything like that. But there is a whole layout of what in the world you're doing with those students when they come. Not only is it important for you to have a routine for yourself, but also for those students, so they know when they get there what you're going to start with, what it's going to look like, what you're going to go over, how you're going to go over it, how long it's going to take, and then they're ready to rock and roll and go to the next activity. Now, if you don't have that routine in place, then not only is it a struggle for you to know what to do every time, but then your students are going to take longer getting their materials and making it over there, and then waiting for you to get ready. And by then you've probably wasted, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes. That is the boat that I found myself in my first year of teaching. And I absolutely hated doing small groups. I hated pulling groups. I did not want to do daily 5. I was like, nope, nope, not going to happen. I'll just work with those kids one-on-one when I get to, and we'll just take it from there. But if you have a plan, if you have a routine, it is so easy, and you will find that you're accomplishing so much more. Those students that are struggling in certain topic areas are going to be able to rise, and they're going to love it. Their confidence is going to skyrocket, your confidence is going to skyrocket, and everybody's going to be happier in your classroom. Let's talk about what that kind of looks like. So just like any lesson, you're going to have kind of a review, an introduction, all the meaty stuff, and then a wrap up at the end. Now, as you're doing all of this, you're going to be kind of taking notes, or even wait till the end, but keep in mind all of the things that happen. And maybe you're going to say, okay, little Susie caught on to this. Once we went back over the spelling pattern, she was able to recognize and spell those words on her own with no support. Okay, now let's talk about little Johnny. Maybe little Johnny was having a little bit more of a hard time, and you were working with him and showing him and having him practice, and you did it together, and he just was still missing the boat. Now little Johnny is going to have a note on there that you need to go back and revisit that, and it probably is going to be tomorrow, so that little Johnny holds on to everything that you did today, and then he's able to take that with him tomorrow and continue building on until he's got it down. What's my hair doing over here? Now let's talk about our last friend, little Victoria. So maybe little Victoria did not so hot on the review part. Let's say that you were going over letters and you said, show me the letter that makes the sound S, and little Victoria drew an F. Now that is also something that you're going to want to make note of, because a lot of those miscues could be the reason that they're not doing so well on the assessment or whatever it was that you went off of to form your small groups. So pay attention to all of the pieces of your small group, or all of the pieces of your intervention instruction, because they might give you some clues as to the other missing aspects, whether it is like letter sounds or sight words or miscues while they're reading a sentence. Anything like that may give you a little inkling as to what to do next, or how to support them further so that they're able to accomplish that task and achieve a certain objective. So create a space, know who your students are and why they're going to be coming to see you, have a plan and a routine, and track those outcomes. Make sure that you are documenting. Now, those 4 things, you're gonna be golden. Like I said, I already have a blueprint out for you so that you can feel free to use. If you're interested in seeing that, you can head over to my Teachers Pay teachers page, or you can even go to my website, www.hijklearn, and let's work on some ways together that will help you implement all of the instruction that you need, set up all the small groups and interventions that your students need in order to make your classroom a learning space where students are happy and the teacher's happy too. See you guys next time.